There is a new camera in town, and it does things differently. Packed inside is technology that allows you to shoot video in all directions. This is the Rylo 360 camera, and we're going to go over everything you need to know. So you've probably asked yourself, why would I need a 360-degree camera? My audience is just going to watch my video through a cell phone. I don't have expensive VR equipment. What possible need would I have for 360-degree video? Well, if you've probably figured out, I'm filming on the Rylo right now. With the Rylo 360, you can capture unique video that is much more immersive to your audience. Once you finish filming in the Rylo app, you can choose anywhere you want to look and anything you want to follow. So before we begin, we're going to change some settings in the camera. To do that, you take Rylo's provided cable and you are going to plug it into your phone. You launch the Rylo app. I have it up right here already. And on the top right, you're going to hit the Rylo icon. We're going to change the capture quality to high. It defaults on normal. Let's change that over to high. You also have control of whether the Rylo makes sounds, whether it vibrates. You now have a photo timer, so you can have that photo timer off when you take a photo. You can do 3 seconds or you can do 10 seconds. So that's very nice that they've added this feature. And of course, you can also format the SD card in here as well. Unfortunately, there's no ability to loop the video like you have in a GoPro Hero camera. Otherwise, I think this would be the perfect car dash cam. I really do. But that's what you get with the Rylo. To import footage on the main page, you have on Rylo and on phone. What you do is you look for video that you have not imported yet, and you're just going to tap the little icon there to download. Once you have that video on your phone, you go in, and it's a little tricky. This is how you control whether you are have a horizontal or vertical aspect ratio. You actually just rotate the phone and that will say, okay, I want a vertical aspect ratio. Since this is an iPhone 10, this automatically makes this like a 21:9 aspect ratio. To adjust your field of view, you pinch in like this, or you pinch out like that. Once you adjust your field of view and you save the video, that's it. You can only program one field of view for your video. Unfortunately, you cannot have the field of view change throughout the video. So sometimes you want to get that little planet effect and you want to go from like a normal horizon to this tiny planet effect. Unfortunately, you cannot do that. You can only do tiny planet, or you can only do a normal field of view. Now, one of the great things about this camera is its tracking. So when you have a video open, you're going to click on a subject you want to follow, like these people here, and we're going to hit follow this. Then as they move, the camera is automatically going to pan. And this actually works really well. I'm very happy with that. And of course, you can also just choose a point where you want to look. So you just hold in, and you do all this by force touching. So you just hold in a point, and then you're going to select look here. Then you can move your video. And if I want to look somewhere else, I can pause the video, pan to what I want to look at, and then tap there and say look here. Now, when I go back to where I set that first point, it will slowly pan from that first point to that second point. So let's have a look. And that's the other great thing about this camera is this software works beautifully. It works just beautifully. GoPro has a huge problem with their software. That's why I did not get the GoPro. But editing in the app is really easy to do. It really is. Now, this will only record at 30 frames per second. So if you shoot cinematic 24 frame per second video, you're out of luck. Well, I take that back. What you can do is in Final Cut Pro, you can go in and you can slow the video down by 80%. That is one way to get around this. But if you take a 30 frame per second video, like from the Rylo, and you put it into a 24 frame per second project, that video is going to look shaky. It'll look kind of staggery, and it just won't look good. So if you saw the title in my description, you're probably asking why I want to return this camera. The reason is I just cannot get sharp footage out of it. I've tried everything in post. In Final Cut Pro, I've been using a sharpening setting to try to just get this to look cleaner, and I just cannot get it there. It just does not really give me usable footage. I know that it crops from 4K down to 1080, but it's just so soft looking. Unless there's like lots of motion, I can't get any of the footage to look good. And there's also another problem with the horizon. This does an outstanding job at stabilization, and I'm amazed that you can just rotate it upside down and the horizon will, stay level, but that is somewhat level. As you pan around in the camera, you'll notice the horizon will curve. Also, this uses two cameras, and so at some point in your footage, those have to connect. And where they connect, it is very noticeable. It looks like a line, and you can see a bend in the footage, and that's just not usable footage to me. I really wanted this camera to work. I love it. I think it has excellent software. I think this would still be good for most consumers who aren't looking for like super high quality footage and just want to have some fun with video. But for me, I just don't think I can make this work for my needs. So yeah, I'll be returning it. Now, of course, this is a small 4K camera with a so-so sensor. It's not a mirrorless by any means, and the GoPro Fusion still has an advantage to this in terms of film quality. But the GoPro just has so many quirks and such terrible software that I just couldn't bring myself to buy it. I edit my video in the Rylo app, which works beautifully, and then I export the 2D clips to Final Cut Pro. I found trying to edit the 360 video in FCPX is somewhat tedious, but thankfully the app is just so easy to use. So I know I just knocked on the camera pretty hard, but this really does create a lot of unique footage, and this still may be something that you would like to purchase. If you'd like to do so, in my description I have a link to the Rylo 360. It will take you directly to the camera on Amazon. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my many other videos on my channel.